Maybe you need to hear this today. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You don't have to know exactly where your life will be 5 years from now. You don't have to force every opportunity. You don't have to chase every person. You don't have to keep checking whether things are finally working. Take a breath, slow down. You are allowed to live your life without constantly feeling like you're falling behind. Some things need effort, some things need patience, and some things simply need time. That's a lesson most people learn far too late. We live in a world that teaches us to rush everything. Get successful quickly, make money quickly, find the right person quickly, build your career quickly, fix your life quickly. And when things don't happen on that schedule, we start believing something is wrong with us. Maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe you're simply in the middle of the process. Think about a seed. You can plant it. You can water it. You can give it sunlight. You can protect the soil. But you cannot stand over it every morning shouting, grow faster. Your pressure doesn't make it grow. Your patience gives it room to grow. Your life works the same way. Do your part, then allow time to do its part. There was once a young man who planted an apple tree in his backyard. Every morning he checked it, nothing. The next morning, nothing. A week later, nothing. He became frustrated. He dug around the soil to see if something was wrong. He watered it more. He moved it. He added fertilizer. He kept interfering. Eventually, the tree died. Years later, he learned something painful. He had been trying so hard to make the tree grow that he never gave it the chance to grow naturally. That's what anxiety does sometimes. You care so much about the outcome that you interfere with the process. You check the numbers, you check the messages, you check the views, you check whether they replied, you check whether the opportunity is coming, you check whether your life is finally changing, and every time you check, you become more anxious. Sometimes you need to plant the seed and walk away. Work hard, then stop staring at the clock. You applied for the job. Wait, you started the business, keep building. You told someone how you feel. Give them space to respond. You started improving yourself. Keep going. You don't have to measure your progress every hour. Some things grow quietly. There was once a man who spent years learning to play the piano. During the first few months, he hated practicing. He wanted to sound good immediately. One day his teacher told him, "You're not failing because you're bad at it. You're frustrated because you're listening for results before you built the skill." That sentence applies to so many areas of life. You want confidence before you practice. You want success before you've learned. You want peace before you stop creating chaos. You want a better life without giving your current habits enough time to change. Growth has a rhythm. Respect it, relax. Not because you don't care, because you understand that panic doesn't accelerate progress. Think about the ocean. The waves move constantly, but the ocean doesn't appear anxious. It doesn't rush to reach the shore. It simply moves. There is something powerful about that. You can move without rushing. You can work without panicking. You can have ambition without desperation. You can want more without believing your current life is worthless. That's balance. And balance is something many ambitious people struggle to understand. They think if they relax, they'll fall behind. So they stay busy all the time. They wake up thinking about work. They eat thinking about work. They sleep thinking about work. They measure their worth by productivity. Eventually, even their rest feels guilty. That's not ambition anymore. That's exhaustion. You don't need to destroy yourself to prove that you want something. There's a difference between discipline and desperation. Discipline says, I will keep showing up. Desperation says, if this doesn't happen immediately, everything is ruined. Discipline is sustainable. Desperation burns you out. Learn the difference. There was once a fisherman who went out every morning before sunrise. A businessman visiting the village asked him, "Why don't you fish longer? You could catch more." The fisherman asked, "Why?" "So you can make more money." "Why?" "So you can buy a bigger boat." "Why?" "So you can catch even more fish." "And then?" then you can relax. The fisherman smiled. I'm already sitting here relaxing. The point isn't that ambition is bad. Ambition is powerful. Build a business, improve your life, chase your goals, become excellent, but don't postpone your entire life until some future version of you finally arrives. There's no guarantee that future version will ever come. You have today. Use it. Enjoy it. Work hard. Rest, laugh, spend time with people you love. Take walks, watch the sunset, read something, or sit quietly. Life isn't a waiting room for success. It's the thing you're actually living. Another reason people struggle to relax is that they think control equals safety. They believe if they think about something enough, they can prevent it from going wrong. But thinking isn't the same as controlling. You can think about tomorrow for 6 hours. Tomorrow will still arrive however it arrives. You can replay a conversation 50 times. The conversation still happened. You can worry about whether someone will stay. You cannot force them to. You can worry about whether you'll succeed. Worry doesn't create success. Preparation does, action does, patience does, learning does. But worry only charges you for a problem you haven't experienced yet. Stop paying that bill. If something needs your attention, handle it. If there is nothing you can do right now, let it rest. That is one of the strongest habits you can develop. Ask yourself, can I do something about this today? If yes, do it. If no, release it for now. You don't have to solve tomorrow tonight. There was an old carpenter who always carried a small notebook. One day someone asked why. He said, when I have a problem I can solve, I write the solution. And when I have a problem I cannot solve, I write that down too. Why? So I remember not to solve it. Now think about that. Some problems are not asking for action, they're asking for patience. And patience isn't doing nothing. Patience is trusting the process enough to continue without constantly interfering. Sometimes your biggest mistake is trying to force a door that simply isn't meant to open yet. You push, you pull, you become frustrated. You start blaming yourself. Then one day, another door opens naturally, and you realize you weren't being rejected, you were being redirected. Not every delay is failure. Not every unanswered message is rejection. Not every closed door means you're not good enough. Sometimes timing matters, sometimes preparation matters. Sometimes circumstances need to change first. Sometimes you need to change first. So relax. You don't have to chase everything that leaves. You don't have to hold on to everything that wants to go. What belongs in your life will require effort, yes, but it shouldn't require you to destroy your peace just to keep it. Do your best, be honest, be consistent, be patient, then let life unfold. And while it unfolds, live. Don't spend the entire journey staring at the destination. Because one day you'll look back and realize that the moments you were desperately trying to rush through were your life. And perhaps that's what you need to understand most. You are not behind. You are simply in a process you cannot fully see yet. Some of the best things in life take longer than you expected. A strong body takes time. A meaningful career takes time. Trust takes time. Inner confidence takes time. Healing takes time. Mastery takes time. And becoming the person you want to become definitely takes time. We live in a world of instant results, instant messages, instant entertainment, instant information, instant deliveries. So we start expecting instant transformation. But your life doesn't work like an app. You can't click a button and suddenly become disciplined, confident, successful, and peaceful. You have to build those things slowly, repeatedly, sometimes painfully, and that's okay. There is something beautiful about becoming. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly realize you've changed. Usually it happens so quietly that you don't notice. One day you realize you don't react to things the way you used to. You don't chase people anymore. You don't need everyone's approval. You don't panic over every setback. You don't feel the need to explain yourself. You simply handle things differently and you realize you've grown. That kind of growth cannot be rushed. Think about a mountain. Nobody stands at the bottom and complains that the mountain isn't at the top yet. They understand the climb. One step, then another, then another. That's how progress works. But somewhere along the way, we became obsessed with the summit. We forget to take the next step because we're staring at how far we still have to go. Stop doing that. Look at today's step. What can you do today? Make the call, finish the work, take the walk, study the lesson, save the money, write the page, have the conversation, get some sleep. That's enough. You don't need to conquer your entire future today. You need to handle today well. There was once a young woman who constantly worried about her career. Every month she compared herself to her friends. One had bought a house, another had started a successful business, another had moved to another country. She felt like she was failing. One evening her grandfather asked her, "Are you unhappy with your life?" She said, "Yes." He asked, "Or are you unhappy because you're comparing your life to theirs?" She became quiet because she knew the answer. Comparison creates imaginary deadlines. You start thinking you should have achieved something by 25, something else by 30, something else by 35%. But who wrote those deadlines? You did, or society did, or social media did. Life isn't a race with one universal finish line. Someone else's timeline is not evidence that yours is wrong. Maybe your path is slower. Maybe it is completely different. Maybe you need more time. That's not failure. That's life. Stop rushing because someone else is running. Run your own race. Another thing you need to release is the obsession with knowing exactly how everything will turn out. You don't need to know. You just need enough courage to take the next step. Think about driving at night. Your headlights don't show you the entire road. They show you a small distance ahead. And that's enough to keep moving. You don't need to see the entire future. You need enough clarity for the next decision. Take it, then the next one will become clearer. This is how people build lives, not by knowing everything, by moving despite uncertainty. Sometimes you're waiting for confidence before you act, but confidence often comes after action. You want certainty before you begin, but certainty often comes after experience. You want proof that it will work, but sometimes the only way to get proof is to try. So stop demanding guarantees from life. Do your homework, make the best decision you can, then move. And if you make a mistake, adjust. That's it. You don't have to turn every mistake into a personal crisis. A wrong decision is information. Learn from it. Change direction. Continue. You are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to start again. You're allowed to take a different path. You're allowed to admit that something isn't working. You don't have to stay loyal to a version of yourself that no longer fits who you're becoming. And while you're building your future, don't forget to rest. Rest isn't weakness. Your body needs recovery. Your mind needs silence. Your emotions need space. Even machines need maintenance. Why do you expect yourself to operate endlessly without it? Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is sleep. Sometimes it's taking a day away from the noise. Sometimes it's sitting outside without your phone. Sometimes it's doing absolutely nothing for a while. You don't always need to be improving. Sometimes you simply need to exist. Let yourself breathe. You are a human being, not a project that must constantly be optimized. And there is another thing you need to hear. Stop chasing people who are not choosing you. You can care about someone. You can love someone. You can miss someone. But you cannot force someone to value what you bring. If you constantly have to convince someone to stay, you are already losing yourself. Relationships require effort, but they shouldn't require begging for basic respect. Give people space to show you who they are. Then believe what they show you. You don't have to chase. You don't have to manipulate. You don't have to perform. Be genuine. Be kind. Have standards. And let people make their choices. The right people won't require you to become someone you're not just to keep them. The same applies to opportunities. Sometimes you work incredibly hard for something and it still doesn't happen. That's painful. But don't automatically assume it means you're not good enough. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe the opportunity wasn't right. Maybe there is something you haven't learned yet. Maybe you need another door. Keep moving. Don't let one closed door become your entire identity. There are people who spent years believing they had failed, only to realize later that the failure redirected their entire life. A business collapsed. They found another career. A relationship ended. They met someone who treated them better. An application was rejected. They discovered another opportunity. A plan failed. They built something completely different. You don't know what today's disappointment will mean 5 years from now. So don't write the ending too early. Relax. Let the story continue. One of the most peaceful things you can learn is that not everything requires an immediate answer. Some questions need time. Some decisions need sleep. Some emotions need space. Some situations need distance. You don't have to respond immediately just because your phone allows you to. You don't have to make a decision because someone is pressuring you. You can say, let me think about it. That's strength. Slow decisions are often better decisions, not always, but often. When you're calm, you see options that panic hides. That's why you should never make permanent decisions from temporary emotions. Give yourself time. Let your nervous system settle. Then decide. And eventually you'll start living differently. You'll work hard without obsessing over results. You'll love people without trying to control them. You'll pursue goals without allowing them to consume you. You'll plan without becoming anxious about every possibility. You'll rest without feeling guilty. You'll move forward without needing to know exactly where the road ends. That is freedom. Not having everything you want. Being okay while you're still building it. Because peace isn't the absence of ambition. Peace is ambition without desperation. You can want more and still appreciate what you have. You can dream bigger and still enjoy today. You can work harder and still rest. You can care deeply and still let go. You can have goals and still breathe. That's the balance. And perhaps one day you'll realize that many of the things you were desperately trying to force arrive when you stopped forcing them. The right opportunity came when you were prepared. The right people appeared when you stopped chasing the wrong ones. The confidence came when you stopped waiting to feel confident. The peace came when you stopped trying to control everything. The progress came when you focused on the work instead of constantly checking the results. That's the paradox. Sometimes you receive more when you stop desperately reaching for more. Not because you stop working, because you stop fighting reality. So keep planting, keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up, but stop digging up the seed every morning to see whether it has grown. Give your work time. Give yourself time. Give people room. Give life room. You don't have to force every answer. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You don't have to control every outcome. Do what is yours to do, then release what isn't. And if today feels slow, let it be slow. If you're not where you thought you'd be, keep going. If your progress feels invisible, keep going. If you're tired, rest. If you don't know what comes next, take the next step you can see. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to take breaks. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. Just don't confuse patience with giving up. Patience means you continue without demanding immediate results. That's different. So tomorrow morning, wake up and do your part. Work, learn, exercise, create, apply, practice, build. Then let go of the obsession with controlling the outcome. You don't need to know exactly when everything will happen. You need to become ready for when it does. Because sometimes life doesn't say no. It says, not yet. And sometimes not yet is exactly what you need. Maybe you're still learning. Maybe you're still growing. Maybe you're still becoming strong enough to handle what you're asking for. So don't rush the process. Build the foundation. Strengthen yourself. Enjoy the present. And let time work with you instead of fighting against it. One day you'll look back at the person who was constantly worried about whether everything would work out, and you'll want to tell them something. Relax. You were doing better than you thought. The delays didn't destroy you. The setbacks didn't define you. The unanswered questions didn't end your story. You kept moving. You kept learning. You kept showing up. And eventually some of the things you thought you had to chase found their way into your life when you were no longer desperate for them. So breathe. Do your part. Stay patient. Keep building and let life unfold, because your job is not to control every chapter. Your job is to live this one well. And sometimes when you finally stop trying to force everything to happen at once, you realize that life was never asking you to run. It was asking you to keep walking.